When one door of happiness closes, another door of happiness opens. Helen Adams Keller. Helen Adams Keller, born June 27, 1880 to June 1, 1968, was a writer, disability rights advocate, and political activist born in Tuscumbia, Alabama, United States. And lecturers. She lost her vision and hearing during an illness when she was 19 months old. She then communicated primarily using home sign language. At age 7, she met teacher and lifelong companion Anne Sullivan, who taught her how to use language, including reading and writing. Her and Sullivan's story became famous throughout the world in her autobiography, My Life, and in the film and stage play Miracle Worker, based on the work. Now let us appreciate Helen Keller's quotations together. When one door of happiness closes, another door of happiness opens, but we often look at the closed door for too long and forget to notice the door of happiness that has been opened for us. Literature is my paradise. Here, I will not be deprived of my citizenship rights. No facial disability can prevent me from getting close to and deeply communicating with my friends' books. Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of many ways to solve and overcome suffering. No matter what the circumstances, you have to keep working hard. Patience and perseverance will win in the end. Faith is the master of destiny. I only look at what I have, not what I don't have. As long as you face the sun, you won't see any shadows. Silence makes people love sound more, and darkness makes people cherish light more. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or touched, they can only be felt by the heart. Sometimes I think, how wonderful it would be if people regarded every day of their lives as the last day of their lives. This might show the value of life. Raise your light a little higher, so that it can light the way for more people. Facing the light, the shadow is behind us. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched, they must be felt with the heart. Alone, we can do so little, together we can do so much. Character cannot develop in ease and quiet. Only by experiencing trials and tribulations can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no sight. What we once enjoyed we can never lose. Everything we love deeply becomes a part of us. Safety is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do human children as a whole experience it. Avoiding a hazard is no safer in the long run than direct exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Avoiding a hazard is no safer in the long run than direct exposure. Fearful people are caught just as often as bold people. True happiness is achieved not through self-satisfaction, but through devotion to a worthy purpose. I aspire to accomplish a great and noble task, but my chief duty is to perform small tasks as if they were great and noble. If there is only happiness in the world, we will never learn to be brave and patient. Faith is the power that brings a broken world into light. Once I had only known darkness and silence, my life had no past or future, but a word from another's finger fell upon my hand that held the emptiness, and my heart beat in the ecstasy of being alive. Knowledge is love, light, and vision. The most miserable people in the world are those who have sight but no sight. No pessimist has discovered the secrets of the stars, sailed to unknown lands, or opened new doors to the human spirit. Social justice can never be achieved unless the broad masses of the people feel a sense of responsibility for each other's welfare. A man can never consent to crawling when he feels the urge to soar. Of all the senses, sight must be the most pleasurable. To me, a lush pine needle or sponge grass rug is more popular than the most luxurious Persian rug. The whole world is full of suffering. It is also full of overcoming. College is not the place to be creative. I rarely think about my limitations and they never make me sad. Maybe sometimes there is just a hint of yearning, but it is vague, like the breeze among the flowers. It's great to climb the liquid mountains of the sky. Behind me and before me is God and I have no fear. As the eagle is slain by the arrows of its own feathered wings, so the hand of the world is wounded by its own skill. Although it was said among themselves that it was impossible, it was done. Seeing without sight is a terrible thing. We may have found cures for most evils, but we can find no remedy for the worst of them all, human apathy. Optimism is the belief that leads to achievement. Without hope and confidence, nothing can be done. It is better to walk in the dark with a friend than to walk in the light alone. Your success and happiness lies within you. Determine to stay happy, and your happiness and you will form an invincible host against all odds. Never bow your head. Always hold it high. Look at the world. As long as the memory of certain beloved friends lives in my heart, I will say life is good. Everything has its wonder, even darkness and silence, and I have learned to be content no matter what state I am in. Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming suffering. Love is like a beautiful flower. I may not touch it, but its fragrance makes the garden a pleasant place. What I am looking for is not outside, but within me. The highest result of education is tolerance. Death is nothing but passing from one room to another. But to me there's a difference, you know. Because in the other room I will be able to see. Self-pity is our worst enemy, and if we succumb to it, we will never do anything wise in this world. If we stick with it long enough, we can do anything we want. It's great how much time the good guys spend fighting the devil. If they only spent as much energy loving their fellow man, the devil would die in his own misery. We never know what miracles may be created in our lives or in the lives of others when we do our best. Life is either a great adventure or nothing at all. What I want is not peace beyond understanding, I want understanding that brings peace. There is no king who does not have slaves among his ancestors, and there is no slave who does not have kings among his ancestors. The world is moving forward, not only from the strong push of heroes, but also from the small push of every honest worker. What the blind need is not a teacher, but another self. Many people have a wrong idea about what true happiness is. It is achieved not through self-gratification but through devotion to a worthy purpose. Life is an exciting undertaking, and the most exciting thing is living it for others. People don't like to think. If one thinks, one must draw conclusions. The conclusions are not always pleasant. Forgiveness is the mind's greatest gift. It requires the same effort on the brain as it takes to balance on a bicycle. Without limits to overcome, the wonderful richness of human experience would lose some of its salutary joy. Summit time wouldn't be nearly as great without dark valleys to traverse. Literature is my utopia. Here I am not disenfranchised. No sensory barrier separated me from the sweet, loving conversations of my book friends. There was no awkwardness or embarrassment about them talking to me. No one has the right to consume happiness without producing it. The sense of smell is a powerful wizard that can take you through thousands of miles and all the years of your life. Against the war, because without you no battle can be fought. I can see, that's why I can be happy, in what you call darkness, but to me it's gold. I could see a world created by God, not a man-made world. Just as selfishness and complaining sour the soul, love and its joy make vision clear and sharp. The life and story of Helen Keller. Helen Keller was born on June 27, 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama, USA. Helen Keller was originally a healthy baby, but when she was 19 months old, she suffered from acute cerebral congestion and lost her hearing and vision. When he grew up, he used his own sign language to communicate with family members. As we grow older, simple communication cannot satisfy everyone, and our tempers become irritable. When she was 6 years old, her parents, with the assistance of their family doctor, invited teacher Anne Sullivan from Perkins Enlightenment School to be Helen Keller's enlightenment tutor. Teacher Sullivan first understood the reason for Helen's bad temper. Her parents couldn't bear to see her being punished for doing something wrong, beating people, breaking rules, breaking things, etc., so they gave her candy when she did something wrong. She corrected her parents' incorrect behavior and established a trusting relationship with Helen. She then patiently taught her sign language so that she could communicate with others, and then taught her some new words. The first word she learned was doll. Later, they will teach how to use finger braille and live etiquette. When she was 10 years old, her parents hired Horace Mann school teacher Sarah Floyd to teach her how to speak. The teacher put her middle finger on her nose, her index finger on her lips, and her thumb on her throat. Also learned to speak. In 1896, Helen Keller entered the Cambridge School for Girls in Massachusetts. In the fall of 1900, he entered Harvard University's Radcliffe College. He obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree with honors in 1904 and became the first deaf-blind person to graduate from a higher education institution. Sullivan stayed with Helen Keller over the years and wrote textbooks and class contents on the palm of Helen Keller's hand. Helen formed the Helen Keller Foundation in 1924 and joined the American Foundation for the Blind as its national and international relations advisor. Later, she gave a speech at the annual meeting of Lions Club International, where she asked Lions clubs to become warriors who help blind people defeat darkness. And said, "I open a window of opportunity for you, I am knocking on your door." In 1946, he served as the International Relations Consultant of the American Global Blind Foundation and visited 35 countries in total. She fought for the construction of schools for the blind around the world and often visited patients in hospitals to share her experiences. Someone once said of her, "Helen Keller is not only the pride of mankind, but also an example for us to learn from. She is also a manifestation of mankind's kindness. I believe her deeds can become a model for future generations." Helen Keller was widely known and highly regarded as a humanitarian, but she was also a socialist. In 1909 she joined the Socialist Party of America in Massachusetts and later became a member of the Industrial Workers of the World. Her later socialist and progressive views, advocating for workers' rights and women's suffrage, caused the media that praised her to criticize her. The most typical example was the Brooklyn Eagle, which commented that her mistakes came from her, are significantly restricted in their development. In 1971, the international directors of Lions Clubs International announced that June 1st of each year would be designated as Helen Keller Day. Lions clubs around the world host vision-related service events on Helen Keller Day. The story of Helen Keller was adapted into the stage play Miracle Man and also has a play within a play in the manga Glass Mask by Suzumi Nokia. Welcome to subscribe to my channel. Luck and love are with you.